provide sexual fantasy in Jamaica. Jamaica's tourism capital revealed an open secret among their society that sees locals cashing in on white fantasy of sleeping with Rasta. Now, they're trying to blame the white women, but the white women are not there by themselves. Actually, there was a video that went viral in Jamaica a couple of months ago about some Black American woman were in Jamaica getting butt massages, and in the video proceeds to have sex with the worker in broad daylight.
I'm gonna screenshot it so y'all can see the beginning. Hold on, wait. Her and that dude went off to the back of the bamboo and they started doing what they was doing. But this lady right here, her and homeboy right there, guap 3,000. That lady said she getting a full Jamaican experience. Number one, you've never met this man a day in your life. Number two, you're a woman. Respect yourself. Number three, you in a river. Y'all, there's kids out there. Child number one. Child number two. Can't enjoy my massage because that's happening. When I say they was at it for at least 30, 40 minutes, they was at it for at least 30, 40 minutes. Just somebody give me some receipt paper.
But Pursuit of Happiness by Bianca C. Williams, they should be able to experience whatever kind of sexuality they want and not be hyper-policed and not be shamed. That's essentially what they call the politics of pleasure. So there is educational, collegiate style vernacular around basically Black women going to Jamaica and getting their blacks blown out.
It's an open secret. It's well known in Jamaica and expected. And they had the audacity to make a movie about it, how Stella got her groove back. And they try to glamorize anything they do, but the same act from a man is horrible and unacceptable. It is literally the same thing they accuse men of, and they've been doing it first. They've been doing it since the 70s, fam. This is what they do on those girls trips to Jamaica's, fam.
You want to talk about how Stella got her groove back? You want to talk about the different images we've seen in pop culture that speak to this idea of women, modern women, Black women going to other places to thought it up with young, attractive men? This is not a new idea. Black women put themselves in positions to be critiqued this way. Black women did. Because they have the nerve to sit up here and try to pretend like they're better than the passport bros.
It made me want to talk to Black women about their experiences in Jamaica, which I thought was going to center on sexuality. And it did in many ways.
Had that be a Black man talking to another Black man about going to Jamaica for, quote, I don't know, politics of pleasure, so that they can have experiences that center around sexuality, and tell me that World War III would not break out, please.
That right there leads to this right here.
Not in. Not in. I said not in, sir. You're trying to stick it in. Get a plastic bag or something. I'm serious. Get a plastic bag. If you get a plastic bag, then okay.
If you had a plastic bag, she just wants to be pleasured with the tip. I guess they really do mean the big bamboo. She's lying on bamboo, and then she's being serviced with some bamboo.
These are the women that Dr. Umar Johnson says you're supposed to wait around for and tame. And you wonder why we got so many children out of wedlock, because these women are doing this. Is this marriage material?
But one thing I know for sure about the Western women, the Western modern women, what they accuse you of, they are doing. See, it wasn't us who was over there tricking. You can see the pictures of Jamaica for those bamboo massages. They were tricking. It wasn't us who was out there taking advantage of people without means. It was them. Just like the lady yelling, well, if you don't eat the coochie, you don't get a green card. It wasn't us. It was always them. It was them who was taking advantage. It was them who were playing the razzle-dazzle switcheroo, blaming the men for the things that they were doing. See, it's the most common trick in the book. If you're guilty, blame the other party for what you're doing to try to cover your tracks, but it's not going to work anymore.
He's been a member of Hedonism 2 for how many years again?
Since 1988.
How many times you say you've been here?
40 times.
40 times. What brings you to Hedonism that many times? How many times you say you've been here?
40 times.
40 times.
40 times.
40 times.
What brings you to Hedonism that many times? That many times.
The wild women, the ripping and the tearing. Wild women, the ripping and the tearing. Ripping and the tearing.
Because see, we always knew, but we just kept it quiet. But now we know that you ladies of the West, you have too much gall. You're just a little too proud. And so now you're getting exposed and you hate it. All of the lies that you told.
This is the same thing that Black American women have been lambasting Black men for, who choose to be passport bros. They're saying these women are only sleeping with you because they live in third world countries and they don't have any money to support themselves. Well, that's the same thing you are doing down in Jamaica. What's the difference? These people are impoverished. Same people you said that black men are taking advantage of, black women are taking advantage of. These women in their first world money are taking advantage of these men in their third world conditions.
When they visit the island, a person may show them around the island. If you would be friends with me and show me around, perhaps we can be friends. It is a normal process that you go into the street, you say hello to a girl. There's no difference. Sometimes the people show more love to us than the people who live in Barbados.
Many female tourists have a fantasy about renting a black man for a week. These scandalous hoe cakes have been telling you guys that you're so wrong, but they've been doing this for years. It's an industry down there.
Female tourism definitely exists. You see it anywhere that you go, any night scene, beach scene. It's become a major part of our party culture.
You can just go down to Jamaica and rent a rasta. You can actually rent a human being. So the service of tourism has been brought down to the most practical commodity.
Quite often though, I find it's with older women.
A lot of women, single women, all shapes and sizes, they come here on their own. And they know they're going to get someone young. Triple S.
Let's play.
Sand, sea, and sex.
These bras are going down there to have sexual intercourse with Bob Marley, fetishizing about having sex with some Rasta men. That's basically what it is. So anytime these lovely ladies start telling you about fetishes and you're just fetishizing over these Brazilian women, you're just fetishizing over these Colombian women, you're just fetishizing over these Filipino and Dominican, do the same thing. What's the difference? Sounds like that's part of human nature. If y'all do it, we do it. What's the problem?
The average man in America makes about $57,000. The average woman making about $50,000. Average single woman. The average black single woman making in their 30s. They can't afford to go anywhere. It's not the black men who are dusty traveling. 60% of passport holders make over $100,000 a year. It's not us who are traveling. It's them who are too broke to travel. It's not us who had to depend on other people. It's them who have to depend on other people. Sure, there'll be a couple of pookies or idiots who get stranded here or there. But overwhelmingly, women, when they get in trouble, they call home, they call daddy, they call their backup plan, they call the man that they've been leading on, that they've been friend zoning for 20 or 30 years, and they say, hey, help me out here, I ran out of a little money. Or they spend all of their money, they come back and they go out on those dinner dates with folks, maybe give up a little poom so they can get their rent paid. Winter is coming, ladies, and we're not taking it no more. I gotta quote Mr. Obsidian Ali when he said, hey, you want something from me, baby? Book a session. That's right. $160 an hour for me to come and do that manual labor for you. Book a session. You want me to come over here and do something for you? You need that tire change? Book a session. One of the greatest times of Black Manosphere was listening to that because it let you know that booking a session is the remedy for the friend zone. Listen, for the ladies who want to get on a program and actually want a man, who want to get away from this feminist ideology that men ain't time for you to stop standing so close to them back away.
I'm from Barbados. Admittedly, most of the time these interactions were with European women, but quite a few of them were American. A handful of them were black. Not many though, only 3 that I can remember for sure. While I was 16, they would be grown women, at least 25. Black women have been engaged in sex tourism as far back as the 1970s. And they got the nerve to tell you guys that you shouldn't go overseas and look for wives who are fit female. Why would we want to marry these hoes?
Now let's talk about one more thing about these ladies who have the temerity to talk down about women in other countries, as these women are so stupid in their opinion that they can't tell a man's intentions. Like they don't know what a man wants. Like they're just timid and they're just going along with it. Let's be honest here. This is just classism. See, the classism and the education that they believe that they have in the Western world tells them that these other women in places are too stupid to know any better. So daddy Westerner has to take care of them. And that's exactly what they're doing. They are treating these women as if they are not intelligent enough to make their own decisions. When you go over to the Philippines and you see a young woman with an older man, and this older man happens to be balling out of control, building her a house, taking care of her family, making sure that she has all her needs met, have you ever considered that maybe it's him who's giving up more than she is? Have you ever considered that maybe it's him who's taking care of more than he would have to, but he's gladly doing it for one small thing because they're just nice to him? What's wrong with you women that you would let your men get away and you would let your men go astray because you can't be nice to a man? But I'm gonna tell you one thing. It's not gonna get any better before it gets worse.
It's becoming mind-numbingly apparent to me that many women here in the United States do not want men to be happy. They're constantly shaming us, insulting us, guilting us, needing to be right at all times, assaulting us with their lies. So the only solution I see to this is to be more forceful in our agenda and pushing out our message and promoting and advocating for other men. Just like we have seen that these foreign influencers have done in protecting their people, we should be protecting our groups and our communities, pushing ahead our interests so our voice can finally be heard and start changing the tide of culture. Women of the modern woman, woke, fourth wave feminism mentality. Not only are you going to get the clap back from the men here in the United States to change the culture like Dennis Sperling and Kevin Samuels and others, but you're also going to have to be dealing with the women around the world, revealing all your dirty secrets, throwing low blows, insulting you with the full force of a woman scorned, or in this case, women scorned.
That's why they're upset at the passport bros, because it represents men leaving. And that's why they had to group a whole group of people in with them with the guilty by association fallacy. Because what they said is, listen, if these men are going over there and doing something and I know they ain't right, then it has to be that the people they're seeing have to be less than me. Because if they are less than me, then it makes me feel better. It makes me feel all right about them jumping on an airplane and not bringing them resources to my house. But when it comes down to it, these women, when they're traveling to Jamaica, there's a lot of them that have less than virtuous scruples when they're dealing with these men. Basically, what they're doing is they're getting their backs blown out. They're getting a wild monkey ran on them. Old school Funky Cole Badina, Tone Loke's horse talking about it. But the bottom line is that men aren't worried about what women are doing if they're not concerned about them women. I've never worried about a woman that wasn't my woman and what she did. You can conduct yourself any way you want. I have to worry about my circle and my situation. But see, women, they see us as partially their possession. And it has to be that. They feel like, no, you're mine and you got to be here to clean it up after me. You got to be here to clean it up and help me put my life back together. Like you see all of these TikToks and saying, where are all the good men at? Well, baby, all the good men were building themselves. They was building themselves in their 20s and 30s. And by the mid-30s, they got themselves together. They started hitting their stride and they looked at you and they decided that what you were selling, they didn't want to buy. Your marketplace value dipped a little and they realized that they can get on an airplane and maybe, just maybe, get what they want. You see, you could talk bad about these women in different countries and these women gonna clap back. I mean, y'all have made international news. But the bottom line is that you gotta think, maybe, just maybe, a friendly smile and some genuine compassion and understanding of what someone's going through is worth its weight in gold.
I and others like myself have a sense of duty to portray people of the United States in the best possible light. The Western women here is classifying us as all passport bros and putting negative connotations and stereotypes to what a passport bro is. I'm gonna be real with you, I prefer women of the United States, but these past 5 years from what I've observed, from what I have witnessed, has made me question my own preferences. It makes me really think about what my Vietnamese family told me going abroad and finding a wife. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to do that because I'm an equal opportunity employer when it comes to women on the dating market, but it makes sense now why Grover has described to me that I have this MGTOW energy, men going their own way, how I pursue after my passions, my purpose, and I encourage every one of you to be doing that one thing. Because in my belief, if I go after my passion and purpose, not only will I feel fulfilled, but I'll unlock rewards and access to people and networks I never thought I would have achieved. This would also include the dating market. I focused working on myself because I know I needed to get to a place where I would be attractive on the dating market with women of the United States. But with the attitudes that I am witnessing while here editing, it is making me second guess whether I really want to date women of the United States or not. But foolish me, like Grover always likes to say, is that somehow I am still holding on hope.
Well, that's all I got for you, you polite savages. Make sure you like and subscribe, join the tip tube, become a part of our polite savages, hit us up on a Patreon. And of course, as always, ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? It's G, it's Scotty, we out.
Thank you for listening to the Tip Network. Follow us on all social medias. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Join the TipTube memberships and the Patreon. This is Scotty and Grover. Can you handle the tip? We are going